sunbeam, and different days I'll just be fine. Yeah, so it's that, and the feeling of hope, of hopelessness, of being not good enough and things like that. It's a constant thing in life, being numb, not being able to do anything. You want to be productive, but at the same time, you just procrastinate because you just don't want to deal with things. So, yeah, that is what I've been feeling all this while. So that's my story. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum, everyone.
I'm sorry, guys. Actually, it's supposedly have the video, but as you can hear from the video that I played just now, you can see that people who are suffering from mental illness are struggling in their daily life. This video has triggered all of us to talk about mental health awareness among students. I believe this topic is something relatable, especially among students during this hard time where all of us right now are struggling in online learning. After 9 months of studying online, students started to burn out from academic pressure. If not dealt with, the burnout can develop into major depression, which can have debilitating and even fatal consequences. Therefore, let me ask all of you, did you all know anything about mental health, and did you also aware that this mental health is actually a real disease that many people did not recognize or unaware just because it's not like the other type of disease where you can physically see the side effect of it. So basically, mental health awareness means that we are not only acknowledging that mental health is important, but we are talking about it, putting out there so that people who feel too much can get help they need to. Today, we are pleased to welcome our panelists, which is four students of UiTM Campus Bandaraya Melaka, which is Nadia, Adiliana, Nabila, Najwa. We also have Sabrina as a student counselor. My fellow friend, please give applause to them. So, alright, thank you guys. So we will begin with this talent talk by asking the introductory comment from the panelists. Miss Sabrina, as a student counselor, what do you think about mental health? And Nadia, please share with us your opinion too.
Okay, first of all, thank you, Azim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for inviting me to give talk and discuss regarding this very serious issue that is arising around the globe. Did you one person 40 seconds because of suicide? This shows how serious and big issue with mental health problems. That's why I believe that you are facing mental health problems moreover this of distance learning. You face a lot of difficulties and um, in performing your uh, I have to believe that there is always ways to overcome problems. Mental health issue doesn't choose its victim. It could attack anybody. Even if you are the most person, or even if you are the most richest person, and even if you are the most richest person, you could still have mental health. So, aware about that problem, how are you going to overcome that problem? And there's a lot of mental health problems types, but I believe among students, the most famous is stress, anxiety, and depression. Thank you.
All right, Miss Sabrina, it's good to hear the opinion from the perspective of an expert. Next, how about you, Nadia?
Thank you, moderator. I think, in my opinion, mental health is very important, especially during this pandemic. It includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. I think that Malaysians are still not fully aware of a mental health illness. I happened to read an article from Sinar Harian. They said that mental health illness is expected to be the second highest form of illness in Malaysia by 2020. Some of the misconceptions and stigma that I heard where children do not experience mental health illness. Mental illness happens to certain kind of peoples, and people with mental illness do not have strong religious belief. So this kind of stigma makes people with mental health illness choose to deal with their illness alone. That's all for me.
Thank you, Nada. Thank you, Nadia. Actually, I heard the similar things too, where people will somehow relate the mental health problem with low religious belief. All right, next, I would like to ask Nabila and Aidiliana, in your opinion, as a student, what is the cause of mental health problem among students?
In my opinion, the way parents educate their children can be a cause of mental health among students, such as harsh parenting style. Although all parents love their children, they may overlook the little things that can ruin their family relationship. Let me give you an example. Some parents have set their own time for their children to go home. They are too strict with the life of their children and cannot tolerate with each other. When the child tells the reason why they are coming home late, this parent will still continue to punish them. This is the reason why most young people nowadays are strongly rebellious and also have bad moral. In addition, there are also some parents who have high expectation for their children. For parents, comparing achievement between sibling or classmate is common or normal, but it can actually cause the children health to deteriorate as a result of being right thinking about it. In family members, they will not be able to understand the problem that their children face. Thank you.
Thank you, Nabila. Yeah, it's true that certain people just cannot accept being compared with their own sibling. But we also have to admit that there are students who prefer that kind of approach as they find it's motivate them to become better and better. So how about you, Adiliana? What do you really think about the root cause of mental health problem among students?
As a student myself, I can say that financial worries have taken a toll towards our mental health, especially for students who come from low-income families. There are these constant worries whether our students' loan is enough for us to survive our university lives, or whether the pocket money that our parents give us is enough for a whole month, or whether we need to take up a part-time job because we don't want to burden our parents financially. Some people might say that students should focus solely on education and shouldn't worry about money, but not everyone comes from wealthy families. Some need to hustle day and night just to have a spoon of rice. I have this one friend who is working while studying. During the day, she attends classes like usual, and at night she works at Warung. She told me that she is tired and basically doesn't have enough sleep, but she has to do it in order to survive. So, as you can see, there are many students out there who are constantly worried about their financial situation, to the point it brings stress to them, and it might lead them to depression. Other than that, I think because the students are afraid of the uncertainty. Some people are afraid of things that are yet to happen. For example, just like us, we further our study to get a better job opportunity in the future, right? However, with how things are right now, with people lost their jobs and tons of fresh graduates left jobless, it makes us feel anxious for our future. Will we be able to find a job after we graduate? If not, how can we pay off our students' loan? What might our parents think if we cannot find a job? Am I a failure for not having a job? All this overthinking surrounds students' minds and will put a stress on them. Thank you.
All right, Adiliana, I understand your situations. It's true that not all students came from a wealthy family, but I believe with strong determinations and a good support system, students can manage all the challenges that come during their degree years. All right, moving on. We all know that the pandemic COVID-19 hits the world globally and has caused the government of Malaysia to impose the movement control order where many industries are affected. Our education system goes online due to this infectious disease. And I want to ask Adiliana, Nadia, and Najwa to share their feeling when they heard that the Ministry of Higher Education decided to do online learning.
To be honest, I had mixed feelings at that time. I didn't know whether to be happy or not because it was too sudden. But well, I can say that at first I felt very happy because we didn't have to walk to campus and queue up for a long time to take the elevator or take stairs to classes. But then I started to dislike it because when I thought about it, I couldn't see my fellow classmates and my beloved housemates for a long time. And it was so hard to study without my friends along with me. Furthermore, I already got used to having a face to face discussion. I've always disliked online discussion since my area has poor internet connection and it makes it hard to discuss things.
Oh, it must be pretty hard for you to join online class as it require stable internet connections. How about you, Nadia?
I did not know what to expect when the government announced that all students have to do online learning because I could not imagine how the class would be conducted. I also feel a little bit afraid because I'm not good at using technology. People often feel frustrated and angry when teaching me how to use gadgets and apps. So it became a challenge for me.
I understand you, Nadia, because student and the education system itself is not fully 100% prepared to go online. And lastly, Najwa, how do you feel?
To be honest, when the government announced that we will having an online learning, I was so happy back then. It is because I think that it's going to be easy and interesting because we don't have a physical class and I don't need to get ready early in the morning to go to the class. During online class, I find it super convenient. I just need to open my laptop and then the class is started. I thought that I will have more time to do the things that I like. I can spend more time with my family and I will have more resting time because I don't need to go out. But after having an online class for a long time, it's not as easy as I thought. I found out that online learning has been difficult. It is very stressful and hard.
All right, Najwa, it's good to hear your true feeling regarding online class. After listening to the opinion from all of you, it made me curious to know the view from the experts. Before that, let me clarify that we generally know about the segregations of mental health disease such as anxiety and depression, but how to actually differentiate between stress, anxiety, depression, and the symptom. So I would like to ask Miss Sabrina, can you please share how to distinguish the disease?
Okay, thank you, Mazim. Stress is something that is very close to us. We tend to live under stress every day. Stress can happen when we feel pressure. Stress can happen when we feel pressure, when we heard uncertain things that is unpleasant to us. It could make us feel overwhelmed, problem in concentrating, and it will make us also having problems in overcome difficulties. As an example, you as a student, you might feel stressed when you are given a lot of tasks, assignments, and due dates all at the same time. But the stress itself can be negative or positive, can be positive or negative for you. It can be positive when the stress could push you to do the work harder and faster. And it can be negative when you keep on stressing on that things, but you didn't take any action. So you will become more stressed and stressed. So it is basically how you look towards the stress and how would you respond. Meanwhile, anxiety is the feeling of unease, such as worry or fear too much, that can be mild or severe. Anxiety is the feeling of worry and scared about the things that is about to happen and is happening. Everyone has feeling of anxious at the moment of their life. As an example, when you students are about to answering examinations, or when you are attending job interview, or you are going to you're going to run a medical test, it is normal to feel anxious at that time. However, there are people who cannot cooperate with the anxious feeling. They tend to feel too much scared and worry about that things. So the symptoms that they could occur is they will always feel tired and restless. They will always have dizziness. They could have panic attack. Their hands could shaking. Their legs could shaking, and all of this effect has made us so hard to respond in a normal way. So um, you might also have heart palpitation, which means your heart is beating too fast. Okay, so this situation could affect your performance when you are feeling so anxious, you cannot do your work and your heart beating too fast. So you cannot do your work, and it could also endanger your health because you could pass out due to heart beating that is too fast. And then on the other hand, depression is refers to an experience where you feel down most of the time. In the other words, low mood. And you have also lost interest in the things that you enjoy before. You may also have change in appetite, behavior, attitude. You will always feel demotivated, guilty, and you will generally withdraw yourself from your family and friends. All you feel is numb. You cannot think, you cannot feel your worth life anymore. So that is why most of cases that suicide cases that happen, it is because one person couldn't think or couldn't feel their worth of life anymore. So this is the most critical stage of mental health problem. And you as a student, you have to control your stress and anxiety in order to avoid to fall into depression, which could makes you lose yourself. Thank you, Almazim.
Thank you, Miss Sabrina, for your sharing. It really gives me and the other panelists good information regarding the mental health problems. Let me ask Najwa and Nabila, do you ever deal with someone who seems to have mental health issues? Or do you have personal experience about it? By the way, guys, actually you can eat and relax, bring your food, stretch your arm and enjoy our talent talk. Najwa, you may continue.
Thank you, moderator, for the question. As for me, I don't have experience having a serious mental health problem, such as depression or anxiety, but sometimes I always fear over my performance on things like exams and group projects. I also worry about what people will think of me, and I will always afraid what people will say when I make a mistake. I think it's still normal and many people have experienced this kind of situation. But I want to share about one of my friends' problems during online learning. She shared to me that one of the main worries she has during online learning is she's afraid to speaking up. She has low confidence in herself and worried if she speaks, her points are not valid. She also shared there is one day during her class she wanted to answer a question, but somehow she just didn't end up saying it. And right when she was about to talk again, someone else started to say the exact same point as she wanted to say. And other people got recognized for participating instead. And she has been feeling pretty bummed about it for the whole day that she had two attacks over it. She said that she never really got diagnosed with anxiety, but she said that her chest felt tight and her heartbeat raced, her head felt hotter too, as well as an increase of her breath intake. And she feels horrible about it, and she just don't know how to get this thought out of her head. And because of this, she kept getting reminded of not speaking up during class and getting worried about it over and over again.
Thank you, Najwa. We will get a better explanation from Miss Sabrina later. How about you, Nabila?
I have never had a personal experience with mental health problem, but I know of mine who suffer from it. But now she managed to overcome it. According to her, This happened after she finished her Form 6. Started to feel weak and down, and also she feel like doing nothing at all. Although her parent advised her to find a job to fill her free time, as well as to continue her study, she rejected everything. And she loved to lock herself in a room. And every time someone tried to ask her to get out from her room, she would feel so angry. There were also times when she expressed her desire to commit suicide as a result of the stress she was facing. And eventually, her parents took her to go for a treatment, and now she is fully recovered.
Oh, I see. I appreciate your sharing, Nabila. So now, I want to ask Miss Sabrina, what do we need to do if one of our friends is depressed? How can we help them and how can we assist them?
Okay, thank you, Azim. So the question is how to assist your friend that is having or seems to have depression. First of all, you have to observe the signs. You have to observe your friend's change of behavior, like what Nabila had told us earlier. Her friends is love to lock herself in the room, doesn't want to talk to anyone, doesn't want to talk even to the family, and also have the tendency to commit suicide. That is the common signs that happen when someone is facing mental illness problem. So as someone that is close to that person, you have to be aware of them and try to motivate them, try to talk them, ask them, or listen to them. Because some people only need someone to listen to their problems and someone needs motivated. So you have to differentiate whether she needs motivation or she needs someone to be a listener. Okay? And after that, if you see that the signs is getting worse, such as she is hurting herself or she keeps on saying she's going to kill herself, you have to persuade them to seek help from the expert, from the psychiatrist. You can take them to the nearest clinic and then meet the doctor, and you told the doctor that you want to make an appointment with the psychiatrist, and the doctor will make you an appointment letter with the psychiatrist and refer you to a bigger hospital. When you reach the date on meeting the psychiatrist, before you enter the consultation room, you will answer forms that um, that questionings on your mental health conditions at the time, and then it will be given scale. It is like the DASS, depression, anxiety, and stress scale, but it is more. There are a lot more questions that could really indicate what is stage of your mental problem that you have. So you will know better. And then after that, you will enter the consultation room and the doctor will assist you, will ask you what is actually happening, and then you have to tell everything you feel, and they will know how to play with your mind, like with your psychology, because they are the expertise. So they will know how to communicate with you. And then they will diagnose whether you need medications or not, whether your condition is serious enough to get medications or not, because some patients are who facing depressions cannot have a good sleep at night. So some may need medications. And then the appointment will be happening 3 months once to follow up from the first appointment. So and then you will go with the same procedure, answering the form, and then consultation again, and then the doctor will see your progress, whether you are getting better or not, whether you need more dose or you need lower dose or you don't need dose anymore, until you are completely okay. And then they will also consult for further action. So never hesitate to meet the expertise in psychological. Whenever you need one, just go for it. Whenever you see someone seems need one, go for it. Take them there. Help them, assist them, be with them. Because to face this problem, we need the support from our own self, and the most important thing is from the people around us, like your friends and your family. Thank you, Amazin. That's all.
Wow, I believe it's a very helpful way, Miss Sabrina. Thank you. This is a question for Adiliana and Nabila. As a university student, could you please suggest one or two ways to promote mental health awareness among students?
Thank you, Azim. In my opinion, I think we can promote mental health awareness among students through online talk. For example, we as a student can organize an online talk and invite an expert or someone who has wide knowledge about mental disorders, someone who can put themselves in the student's shoes, such as a psychiatrist or a counselor, just like our Miss Sabrina here. This online talk can be conducted on social media, such as Instagram Live or Facebook Live. Doing online talk on these platforms will receive huge responses from people, especially students. The expert can share information on the symptoms of mental disorder and how to cope with it throughout our studies. Some students might not realize that they have the symptoms and they often disregard it as something normal. Online talk also encourages students to talk about their struggles throughout their studies to show that they are not alone. It is not easy to go through things alone, I know, I do understand. That's why it is necessary to let these students know that they are not alone and they can go through dark episodes together with their friends. Thank you.
All right, Adiliana. It is an interesting idea to have an online talk. How about you, Nabila?
For me, we can promote mental health awareness by posting a positive hashtag on our social media. Most of the media nowadays is focused on negativity in the world and gossip. So, why not we change the language of mental health to become a topic of our discussion? For example, the trending topic on Twitter has the power to spread a massive amount of mental health awareness. There are some hashtags that we can use, such as self-care and stop the stigma. The more we share this hashtag, the more awareness will be spread. Also, by sharing self-care tips on our social media, we can help to spread the awareness too. You can make a video to show how you care for yourself, and this will inspire those who watch your video to care for themselves too. Thank you.
Another interesting idea. Thank you, Nabila. Next, Nadia, in your opinion, could you please suggest uh, ways to deal with mental health, especially during this pandemic as a student?
Thank you, Azim. First and foremost, get help when you need it, especially during this pandemic. You can call the not-for-profit organizations such as Befriender and Malaysian Mental Health Association. They provide support and consultation. Second, search for people. Second, support. Second, surround yourself with good people. Search for a friend that can uh, that always be there for you and support you, and you can you can tell your story to them. Third, quiet your mind. You can by performing prayers. Other than that, if I feel frustrated from doing assignment, I take a break from my phones and laptops and just lay on the bed. And lastly, remember, guys, it's okay to not be okay, guys. You can cry, let the frustration out, and I think that the technique really works for me. Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you, Nadia. Thank you. How about you, Najwa?
As for me, the thing that I will do to take care of my mental health is deal with the stress first. Because we know that long-term stress can increase the risk of mental health problems. I will always do three things when I start to feel stressed or tired when doing all of my assignment. The first one is I will go out. I will go to the beach and sit there for about 2 to 3 hours. It is because I can release my stress and I can enjoy the view there while taking a deep breath. That is enough to make me leave my stress behind. The next one is I will listen to my favorite music. Music can help me release my stress and can help me to forget my problems for a while. I usually listen to a slow melody because it can help me to relax more. And the last one is I will get enough sleep. I always do not get enough sleep because I've been staying up late to finish my assignment. These things have made me feel so tired and feel stressed because I don't get enough time to rest. I will try to find a time to get enough sleep, at least 8 hours a night. Thank you.
All right, Najwa, I appreciate your sharing. All right, now I have a question for our class. How do you guys take care of your mental health? Please share some.
May I?
Uh, of course, sure.
Alright. Okay. So, how I take care of my mental health is for me as a student. There is a lot of things that I do for me to take care of mental health and to make sure that I'm in a state of mind that is stable. So one of it is like I always do some exercises because I think that I believe that's really works on me and really helps me to release my stress and ease off of the that have been there in my mind with these assignments and other cases like because of our during this pandemic issue. But other than that is I don't know why if everyone does like this like me, because to me sometimes I always call my friends just to talk about my problems, to express my feelings, because I believe that by doing that it really helps me a lot. It really helps me to let it out and to ease all the feelings of mixed feelings and all the stressful things that I had been doing. And also, yeah, that's all.
Before that, knowing you as a friend, I know you an overthinker guy. You like to think about many things. So,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, how do you tackle overthinking kind of attitude?
Um, yeah, for the overthinking, like for me, what I'm doing, if I'm been started to be thinking that something that really didn't happen yet, but I started to think of it as, firstly is always take the good, always see and searching for the good side, for the positive side, before we think the bad side first. After then, if we think and seek for the positive side first, and then I believe that we could relate the positive and negatives, and somehow it gives me some ways to think more rationally. And always, like I said just now, tell your friends if you have some things that you don't let it bear in on your own mind and just thinking alone. And also you could share it with your family. Just the point is share it. Don't just keep it to yourself. It's
All right,
really
Amir.
really helps.
All right,
Yeah, that's
thank
all.
you, thank you, Amir, for answering. I really appreciate that. All right, now we have reached to the final part of our talent talk. Before we end our sessions, I would like to ask Miss Sabrina to give her last word regarding this issue.
Okay, thank you, Azim. Okay, students, university life is never easy. It is very stressful and challenging, but you have to enjoy the process, enjoy the stress. Do something that could balance between your busyness of studying and your doing your hobbies to lessen the stress burden. I would like to encourage any of you who are feel depressed or having mental health problems to step out from your darkness. You have to believe that you could change. It is all about you. You have to live yourself, and self-love is very important. And if you don't want to consult to the doctor, you can talk to someone else. You can talk to your friend, you can talk to anybody that you think will will willing to hear you. Or I believe that every academic institutions have their own counselor. So if you think you need one, never hesitate to meet them. You can also meet me if you need one. And then don't keep it to yourself. Don't keep it until you are feeling the heaviness and your heart feel like burst. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until you lost yourself. You have to step out. You have to believe that you can do it. You have to change because you have still have a long life to live. And lastly, you have to remember that every day we will face problems, whether you are when you are working in the future or whether you are getting married, problems will happen. So you have to be prepared for not being prepared. Okay, please manage your mental health problems properly, and never self-diagnose yourself because you never know what is actually happening to you. People will see the signs. It's not you. You could only feel it. You couldn't even think normal. I mean, rightly, correctly. So you have need help. You need help from the other person as the expertise or friends to assist you in facing this mental health. And as a student and as a family, a friend, I would like to ask you to be supportive to each other. Talk to each other nicely, watch the words, and be supportive. When you see someone that is about to giving up in their studies, you could say to them that it will, you could face it, okay, and everything will end very well, and you have them, so they are not feeling alone, okay, and that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss Sabrina. And lastly, mental health illness should be addressed properly because this disease is the same with other type of disease where it needs proper medications and treatments. In my opinion, mental health awareness should be promoted to all nations as it is important. Maybe we as a student should start first with destigmatizing mental health illness due to low religious belief, where it is totally wrong since it could attack anybody regardless who you are. Due to that, we are here wearing this stop stop the stigma badge just for our little effort in creating awareness for mental health awareness. With all the argument made by the panelists, I hope that all of you have a good exposure regarding the mental health awareness. Thank you to our panelists for your opinion and story. And thank you to my friends and Dr. Idris for your attention and time. That's all from us. We hope you enjoy the talent talk session for this week. And lastly, we are sorry for the inconvenience. Thank you guys. Thank you, Doctor.